And then Governor Tim Walz is stirring up trouble by talking about Tesla. I want to play what Governor Walz said that is stirring up such controversy. And I want to know what you think about it because I got to be honest, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about the governor going after Tesla in the same way that many of you are. Let me play the clip.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you. Saying on my
Is that the governor cheering against an American company? Or is that a Democrat on the campaign trail sticking it to Elon Musk? Because I think it's the latter. 651-461-9226. I do salute the Elon Musk clapback where he said on X, sometimes when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House and thank the Lord. It's pretty good. You got to give it to Elon Musk. That's pretty good. I don't mind Tim Walz going after Tesla because Tesla today is not just an American company. This is not Tim Walz cheering for an American company to fail. This is Tim Walz saying Elon Musk is a problem in his view. Do I think Elon Musk is a problem? Do I think you should punish Tesla? I think the argument that the governor should not criticize an American company is a load of crap. Like, what a goofy argument. And people are sanctimoniously all over the place. Well, the state of Minnesota has 1.7 million shares of Tesla. Come on. Is that the government you want? You want our political leaders taking a look at our portfolio and then they make their decisions based on that? Oh, I don't think that's what we want. I'll be honest. I wish we didn't have to have any of these conversations because I wish we didn't have the number 2 person in the government also running massive companies that do massive business with the federal government. Call me old fashioned. But if you want to go into government, I think you should go into government. Now, I think the federal government is better off when you have full participation and full kind of listening and speaking out of people in business. I'm not saying there should be some sort of wall. But Elon Musk did this to himself. You're going to blame Tim Walz for making a sort of rip? That bothers you, really? 651-461-9226. It's disgusting hatred simply because he got his butt kicked and he's a poor loser. That's sort of interesting, right? Does it give you poor loser vibes? I don't know. I think we're beyond that, aren't we? Like, are we gonna, with today's politics, are we really gonna put on our pearls and clutch away and say, well, you should just let the president and let his people run the government? Come on. It's all right. It's all right. To argue that our elected officials should take a look at the stock portfolio of just like the absurdity. To me, it just could not be more ridiculous. Now, Dan, do I like the fact that you have workers in the middle, you have people who are, who own a Tesla, you have them victimized? Do I like the fact that, there have been some truly dangerous and brutal attacks setting Teslas on fire? Like, absolutely not. Like, that is outrageous. But are we really clutching our pearls over what Tim Walz said about Tesla? Does that really offend anyone that he's calling for the failure of an American company? Like, no one really thinks that's what's happening, do they?
I think, I mean, in the current state of politics, I wouldn't put that past anybody at this point. I'm not offended that he wants to take a shot at that, but I do think it's a reason we could step back for a second and think about the rhetoric that's being used in this country. Because I do wonder, I don't know that I can draw a straight line, but I do wonder if casually flippant comments like that have some sort of connection to the people that are burning Tesla dealerships. If we are that flip about companies and their connection to their owners who are also involved in politics in some way, shape, or form, I mean, as much as people hate George Soros, who now owns a large chunk of our corporation, we want people, burning down stuff in front of CCO? I would say not.
Isn't this a singular example, though? I just don't know that we can widen this out to anything other than Elon Musk and his consumer-facing company. Because you don't see there's just no parallel.
Yet.
What would the parallel be? What other?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I just don't think any other CEO would ever put, like, Elon Musk is a singular human for good reasons and bad reasons. But I can't imagine any other reasonable CEO that would put their company and put their stock in the risk that we're seeing here. Just doesn't make any sense to me. 651-461-9226, using his own words. He just comes off sounding like a dip in the clip. Is this comedy hour? Well, the texter makes a valid point. If you look at the governor's X feed where this video was posted, it does appear to be Showtime at the Laugh Factory, right? I mean, that is a valid critique. I do think our political world would be better off if we didn't have politicians competing to try to see who has the most viral, clever clip of the day. I'll give you that one. Let's go to Betty in Lakeville on the CCO Talk and Text line. Betty, thanks for calling CCO. What do you think about the governor saying that he gets a little thrill out of watching Tesla's stock fall?
I truly believe that Elon Musk has just brought this all upon himself. I mean, he's out there saying all these things, and it's okay for him to say it, but if anyone retaliates, he has this persona that comes off, and I don't know. I feel like he's done it to himself. And I just don't feel that whatever Trump does, whatever, people elected him. We did not elect Elon Musk. I did not elect Trump. Right. But I'm just saying, we did not elect Elon Musk to be in the position he's in. And so I don't think he should have the authority that he's had. And I think that he brings it upon himself. And for Governor Walz to say it, big deal. I'm sorry.
That's sort of what I think. I mean, I will say, like, I like Elon Musk's clapback when he took Tim Walz's own words and said, when I need a little boost, I look at the J.D. Vance portrait in the White House. Like, that's pretty good. I think Elon Musk is actually responding to Tim Walz in a much more reasonable way than the goofballs who are like, the state of Minnesota have 1.6 million shares of Tesla in its retirement fund and 211,000 shares. Do you really want the governor? Like, come on. Do you really want our politicians looking at the share level and the retirement fund and then using that as what their guide is to conversation? I think that's absurd.
Yeah, I think personally, I don't think it was any kind of attack on any kind of an American company. It was a dig at someone who has been digging at everyone else. So I guess I don't know. I think people just, in this whole situation for the last 5 years, they need to calm down.
Betty, thank you.
Everybody calm down.
That is solid advice. We're just going to save that soundbite and just play it periodically on this show. Everybody needs to just calm down, except me. I'm allowed to be hysterical. Mark and Kurt, stay on the line. You are welcome as well at 651-461-9226. Is Governor Tim Walz in the wrong as he gloats about Tesla's stock dropping? Or is this a unique Elon Musk scenario? Or is it a little bit of both? Lots of you on the line. I want to get to as many callers as possible. Let's get Pam in Minneapolis first because she wants to respond to Betty. Go ahead, Pam.
Hi. The last woman's response kind of cut me off guard when people say, I feel this way about a person, but they're not really stating their feeling. You know, I think, anyway, I think that Tim Walz is very unprofessional. I think it's very petty, and I think it's uncalled for in his position.
It is petty, but look at it. Isn't that what the world is now? Sadly, I mean, this is,
my goodness.
it's coming from the presidency. It's coming. I mean, it does seem to be everywhere.
Yes, it is. It's just stirring the pot.
Yeah. Thanks,
You know,
Pam.
they want peace, and it's just stirring the pot. Yep. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Very good. Thanks, Pam. Mark in Ham Lakes, you're up next. Ham Lake. I didn't mean to pluralize the lakes of Ham, but you know how I feel about pork, Mark. Go ahead.
Hey, I know how you feel. Hey, so first off, for every president for the last 10 years, they're all going to cut costs. They're going to cut costs. Nobody's done anything. Finally, you get Trump in there who's going to cut costs. He brings somebody in to cut costs, which we all agree with, fraud, etc. I don't know what this guy is doing wrong that everybody is on him. And then they go after one of his businesses, an American business, and they try and ruin this guy. Governor Walz is the biggest loser I know. And for him to make a statement like that is like Jimmy Kimmel saying last night, don't do any terrorism or damage to these Teslas, wink, wink. What is going on, Jason?
Yeah,
I mean,
that kind of stuff isn't acceptable. Let me ask you this, though. If Kamala Harris were elected president and Mark Cuban was her number one advisor, wouldn't you expect Republican governors, J.D. Vance as in this theoretical example, losing vice presidential candidate, to take shots at Mark Cuban and Mark Cuban's business? Aren't Republicans just mad at this because Walz is a Democrat?
No, not at all. If Mark Cuban came in and started cutting government costs, and I don't like Mark Cuban, and if Kamala would have got in, oh my God, it's over. Mark Cuban came in and was cutting costs, I would be championing that. Why not? Yeah. What's he hurting? And Elon, he's got nothing to gain from this. The guy's got all the money in the world. He's got everything. He loves the country. He's trying to help it out. Just like Trump. Yeah. He don't need any of this stuff.
I get that argument for sure. Thanks, Mark. Kurt, you're up next. Kurt, does what Tim Walz said about Tesla, that he sets a little stock alarm and whether that's true or not, you know, Tim Walz, that could be an exaggeration. But what do you think, Kurt?
I think you call him a Nazi and say it to try and kill him. Oh, that's right. They've already done that. Jason, my guess is you're in the top 1% wage earners in Minnesota.
Probably two.
How would you like it if somebody keyed your? Probably. How would you like it if somebody keyed your car?
I mean,
because they disagree.
Yeah.
Because they disagree with what you said.
No,
and what you're doing.
Yeah. Right. Obviously, I wouldn't like that, and I don't think. Look, I think.
And you're very wealthy. Very wealthy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm like moderately wealthy. I wouldn't say very wealthy.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Or people say they're not wealthy in Wisconsin. If you're over 60 grand.
Yeah. Well,
okay,
Kurt, we're getting a little off.
We're
getting a little bit off the track here. I think you
don't want to be on that track. You want to take care of your listeners who are mostly Democrats in Minnesota.
I don't know.
I understand that.
I don't know about that.
I understand that.
Yeah. I'm happy to rip the Democrats.
Oh, you always take the Democrat. Not always, but I should never say always.
Yeah.
You most of the time take the Democratic view.
I don't know.
Like today.
Yeah. All right. I mean,
like today.
Kurt, my
When are you going
question,
to take a Republican view?
should we go back into like the show archives? Like when I think I've been
Well, you're going to have
compared to
to go
many.
back ways.
Yeah. Well, you send me an email, Kurt. I'll do all the research for you and send you all of the links of all of the times. I mean, come on. Chris is in Edina. Chris, thanks for calling. What do you think about Governor Tim Walz saying he gets a little bit of a thrill when the stock of Tesla goes down? I'm just not as outraged as people I think are pretending to be here.
Hey, Jason, thanks for taking my call. I guess as a Minnesotan, I'm embarrassed that he's our governor. People have spent lots of money in their 401k, retirement fund, whatever, investing in Tesla. If you look at Tesla as a whole, they've opened up their EV charger network to Ford, to GM, to many other EVs.
Oh, it's without a doubt, it's the leader. It's the leader in that technology. No question about it.
Yeah, and
I've driven them. They're great cars.
For him to vocalize and really, say he's excited that their stock's going down. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's a company that employs over 10,000 people in the United States. They build a factory in Texas. I understand they're building another factory. I mean, this is an American-made company. It'd be like 3M or Honeywell. It's should be something that we as U.S. citizens have pride in. Yeah. And then when you get Walz complaining about it,
so should you never criticize? Should a politician never criticize an American company?
Absolutely, you should criticize. We need to keep everybody in check. But if a company's doing good and employing people and building a product, and you've got a governor saying, "Oh, I hope their stock goes down," it's very incongruent with the spirit of entrepreneurship, freedom of speech, all of that.
You do make a good point, Chris. Because now I'm just blaming Elon Musk for putting his company in the line of fire. But you do make a very good point that what Tim Walz is criticizing is personal. It's a personal attack. Now, I would say Elon did that to himself. So I don't really think he's attacking this company. He's attacking Elon. And I think your point is valid. We do want our political leaders not to look at the state retirement fund and decide which companies to criticize and which not. But we should be reserving our criticism for companies that are actually doing bad.
I would agree. And if you look at, and I'll stop here momentarily, but if you look at like Steve Jobs or Larry Ellison, two entrepreneurs who, didn't always, please the public, but yet they did make a contribution. You look at, the number of listeners that probably have iPhones today. And, there is some good happening. Yes, they don't like Elon. Maybe it's because he's associated with Trump. But let's not take it out on the company itself by, wishing their stock will go down or burning Teslas or attacking Tesla stores. It's just
for sure. We need to not be doing that. Thanks. Very good call. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's take Jeff. Jeff, you get the last word. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, I fully agree with Governor Walz. I'm glad he did it. It made me feel good because I feel the same way. I 100% agree with the caller, Betty, who said Elon Musk has brought this upon himself. He has. Makes me terribly nervous to have a unelected wealthy person having anything to do with government. As far as Elon, I have nothing but disdain for him. And I don't see anything wrong with a few burning Tesla dealerships here and there. Maybe that African son of a gun will pack his bags and go back to his fascist ways. He can just leave.
Too far, Jeff. I think that's too far. We can't. I get the personal disgust for Elon Musk. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I get where that comes from. We got to be clear in renouncing violence or attacks or anything like that. There's no equivocation for me on that. Good calls, good conversation. Let's break. Drive time with DeRusha. We're a little short today, just 2 hours because Twins baseball on the air here on the home of the Twins, WCCO.